to see real-time updates for multiple devices. And based on this, you can decide to make changes to your system using the plant controller. Additionally, we also have historical data access. So the plant controller is able to track and analyze past performance. This obviously allows you to identify trends within your energy management system and thereby make informed decisions, resetting some of your priorities or parameters that you have initially set up. And then this is just the dashboard setup. So initially, when you log in to your MyPower24 account and you want to set up your plant controller, you will have a blank dashboard. So essentially, you'll encounter an uninitialized dashboard that is awaiting setup. So you can see over there that we have a plus sign. So that is where you can add your widgets. Alternatively, you also have the little green circle, and you are also able to add in your widgets and thereby visualize your entire plant. So one important note is that each device requires the dashboard to be set up again. So if you set up your plant controller dashboard on your phone, and you now want to use your laptop, for example, you will need to set up your dashboard again. So firstly, once you've set up everything, so the installer has set up the site, for example, an HV site, and connected the logger. So once the logger has been set up, then the plant controller dashboard will be set up. And it needs to be set up the way you have connected your systems, the way you've connected your inverters, your energy meters, your generators, whatever is on the plant, the way that has been configured, it would need to be set up like that on the plant controller to obviously get optimum function. And then I'm just going to go through some of the widgets. So some of the visual representations of the plant controller. So as you can see over here, this is what your dashboard will essentially look like. So you can visualize the power movement amongst the grid, the load, the generator, the battery, and you are able to decide whether you would like to view the power in kilowatts or in rated power percentages. You can see over there you have the little house icon, so that essentially represents the load. You have your battery, you have your PV as well as the grid. So you can see also on the side, if you click on it, you are able to set your different parameters. And then this is the general power widget. Again, you can decide which power value you would like it to be displayed in. So our plant controller can support live data in kilowatts or kVA as well. And yeah, so you can decide how you would like to view your data, as it's fully designed to suit the user requirements. And then we also have a power chart widget. So this presents the historical data for various power sources, like the PV, the grid, the battery, the load. And you can see from the daily summary, the different power usages throughout the day at different times. You can also view it for different days. And like I said before, you are able to save historical data. You're able to see historical data as well as live data. So as is happening now, and you're able to also set certain parameters, which Reggie will go through. And then you can also see from here, if you click on your daily summary, you are also able to determine how you want your data to pull. So whether you want it in minutes or hours, you are able to change the settings on the plant controller. And then also, this is an example of the live chart. So the live data chart, again, you can click on the grid or the load. You can pull different information that you want to be able to see. and essentially how it performs, how your system is performing throughout the day. And then lastly, this is just some of our advanced power widgets. So this is if you've now set certain parameters, you can see that it's currently importing. The grid is currently importing at 75%, and then you can also see that your battery is currently charging. So all of this will be displayed on the My Power 24 portal on your plant controller dashboard. Reggie, are you going to share on your screen? Okay, so I'm just going to hand over now to my colleague Reggie, who will take you through what this actually looks like on the plant controller.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Reginald from Solar MD, and I just wanted to take you through a walkthrough of one of the existing sites that we already have. Which one? Okay. So this is an existing site that we already have, and as you can see, it's got the new logger firmware, and this is your main display when you go onto your logger. So all the devices have already been connected on the site, and as you can see, it's been added. This is a drag and drop, as Riska explained, functionality. So I just want to show you how to set it up. So you would start by, first of all, you go to your settings. You would ensure that your enable is selected. And then once you got your devices, you would add the serial number here and what type of device it is. So as you can see, I've already got the PV inverters and the other inverters connected already. And then you will double click onto it and enable. Please ensure that you have the storage cluster ID set to whichever ID you have as your battery. And once it's enabled, you press save and it would enable that. I've already drawn this connection line and that's why it's connecting already. But essentially you would just click on the dot and drag it to the battery. Not loading. Okay, there we go. It loaded. Okay, so when you want to add, for instance, the grid, you can just type grid. And then you would select add and it would add the device. And as you can see, you've got now the grid icon. And if you want to add the load, you select load and you can add. And essentially you can do the same on the site. There is no generator connected, so I'm not going to add the generator device. But just going to reload this page quickly. So you can connect, so this side is your output to your load, and you can connect them both there, and you can do the same for the PV. And then for the grid, you just connect it to a grid connection on both sides. And that's essentially completed. For settings, you can remove a device, or you can have active power. This would be the default to what you're expecting. And here is a function that our software developers have implemented where you can have priority, for instance, when you're setting the modes on the battery. You can add, and then you can have these functionalities. So if anyone is familiar with our V2 logger, the outputs, and you can set up expressions. You can have an expression over here, you can edit it, and you can set up specific time intervals, and you can set your priority over here. So the way the priorities work is 0 would be obviously the first one, but then 1 would take priority over 0. And then if there was a 2, then 2 would take priority over a 1. And you can set the default active power and enable it. And you can do the same on the grid. And you can also do your so if you set this is what you can, your minimum, and you can set that to 0, and it will limit export to the grid, and then your maximum of what you're expecting from grid. And that will be customizable for your site. And that is essentially the plant controller. And if you come to the dashboard section, as Riska explained, so I have set this up previously. I will remove these devices. Okay. So this is not. Okay, so when you start on a new device that you've now logged into your logger, you would come, there would be the add sign, or you can come over here and you can add. So these are the widgets that Riska was explaining, which you can add. I'll just start adding them again for you so you can see. Power charts. And let me just add. So when you want to configure the dashboard, you got a setting button over here, and you can set it in your true power, or you can select it in your apparent power. And that would be for grid imports or exports. Over here, you can also adjust what you would like to view, which power types, and your generator, if one was connected. As you can see, the visual is showing what's happening on the site currently, and also on some of the graphs, you can also display what you would like to show. So if there was a generator, the load, PV, and let's view the storage. And you can view it all. And this would be the historic data. There is another chart that you can also use. Yep. Okay. So it's not loading at the moment. I think the site at the moment has very bad network connection. But essentially, it's the same process where you would press the green button, then you can go to the settings. you can add which power types you would like to display. And once you've done, you always need to remember to press save, or if you do not do that, when you go back onto the dashboard, you would need to reconfigure it. And as Riska said previously, each device would have a separate dashboard. So any other device, if you've set this up on your laptop or on a tablet near the site, if you go back onto it on your phone, and you'll see that you need to reconfigure it. And that is the benefits of having it, because possibly on the site tablet, you might want everything displayed, but when you log in on your phone, you just want to view the very simple representation of the site. And that is a very brief overview. And if you ever would like the plant controller set up on your logger, you would need to contact the HV support at SolarMD, and we will first of all configure it onto your logger, and then we will take it from there. Thank you very much. And if there's any questions, please just let Riska know, and then I'll respond in the chat.
Thank you,
Okay.
Reggie. Is there any questions or anything else you guys would like to see?
Well, I do have a question, Riska. Just wanted to ask, so the power plant controller is, I mean, I saw that there's like a generator. I'm not sure, does the logger then control the generator, or does it throttle just the PV to match the generator's minimum output?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
I believe it's certain inverters and certain generators that we are able to do this with. I can't confirm exactly which at the moment, but essentially there are some that are, to my understanding, at the moment.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then maybe getting a compatibility list for our clients. Maybe then they can see, okay, what works, what's been confirmed. I mean, I saw there's SunGrow, so I'm assuming that SunGrow is now part of the approved inverters in which the logger controls. And then just another thing, which I wanted to ask, what's the maximum number of devices that the logger can control?
Currently, I believe it might be more than 32. I'm not too sure. It might be, if there's more than 32 devices, we might need a second slave logger, but
okay,
needs to be confirmed. And currently we are doing a DocuWiki where we're updating continuously about plant controller and amount of compatible devices. So once that is all being confirmed, then we can share that with whoever requests.
Yeah, perfect. And then I'm just not sure by the top of my head, but the number of RS-485 devices on the logger or ports, I mean, as long as the baud rate is
9600.
9600, then you can put in like, okay, maybe 32 devices then in general on that RS-485 port.
Yeah.
Plus, okay. Yeah.
And then you would have a second RS-485 on the B2 logger, so you essentially could have more.
Okay. Perfect. I mean, okay, just one last question. The time interval, like for storing data, because I saw that it was like 10 minutes. Can you drop it down or select to a minute, or like what's the?
I believe so if you have, you are correct, first of all, the storage time, but we still have on the charts, you still have your charts, and they store, I believe, up to, could be 30 milliseconds intervals or 10 millisecond intervals, but it can be adjusted.
Okay, that's on the storage side, like storing of data, not on the real-time value.
Yeah, so you'll still have your energy values, and then you'll also have your dashboard, which will also show the intervals. But like you said, it's I think half a minute that can be adjusted.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's half a minute, which is 30 seconds, and I believe they will be working to adjusting that as well for better updates.
Okay. All right. Oh, perfect. I mean, yeah, I don't have any more questions. That was just one of my questions one of the questions I had.
Okay, thank you so much, Alton. Yeah, we will send out an updated compatibility list soon, with all the inverters and that are compatible with the plant controller and all the devices. So we are working on the updated sheet. So once that's complete, we'll share that with you.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Visca, and thanks, Reggie, for that. Yeah. Do we still have any more questions? Please, if you do have any questions, just drop your questions on the meeting chat, and then we'll be able to assist.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, perfect. I think that will be the end of the training. I'd like to thank everyone for coming to the training, and I hope you did all learn a few things there. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to contact IBC, and then we'll be able to help you in terms of what you need for your EMS on the Solar MD side. We do offer containerized solutions, and please feel to drop us a text, and we'll be able to assist in that. If you are not registered with IBC, please feel free to drop your email, and I will then be in contact with you to send you our registration form so that you will be able to purchase with us. And I think from here forth, I would like to say it's the end of the training. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.